So hello guys, actually in this video we will talk about the variance. Okay, what is the meaning of variance? So if you talk about the variance, means variance is simply defining about the difference between the amount which is budgeted and the actual amount how much is incurred. So it's defining that the difference between the actual and the estimated amounts, that is also called the like as a budgeted amount is called like as an estimated budget. Yeah, like a standard budget and the which is amount is a budgeted, so it's depend. So it's we can be called by the any name, like a budgeted amount, estimated amounts, or standard amounts. But in actually how much is incurred, that is called the actual amounts. Okay, that is called the actual amounts which is incurred by the business organizations or to complete that particular projects. So it means like in various companies, okay, the big companies, when they are establishing, they are determining the new project to achieve something, to get something, to do something. So for that they are fixing some plans. So for that they are fixing big target. To those target, to achieve those target, they are standard. First of all, they are budgeting, they are doing the budgeting to achieve that objective. To achieve that objective, they are making a first time doing the budget, first time they are doing, first time they are estimating those other things, and then after they are applying the amount which is actually incurred. After at the end of the period they got the actual result, how much the amount they have paid for that job. So that is called the variance. So it's the both the difference between the budgeted amount and the actual amount is called the variance. So after we can be also understand about the like as a, let me rotate this screen so it will be helpful for you. Where is the rotation, where is the rotation that we can do? Wait just a minute guys, sorry it's not showing the rotations in this phone. This is the okay. So now I will rotate the screen. Yeah. So in this like in this video we are saying, look, so how many types of the variance is here? Okay. So first of all we see the variance. Two types of the types of budget. First of all we are study about the budget. How many types of the budget is there? So first of all is calling that the static budget. What is the static budget is means? So static budget means the budgeted activity level into budgeted cost sales price. Budgeted cost sales price. So what is the standard budgeted cost or sales price? So this budget we prepare at the starting period of the period of the budget. Okay, and at the single level of the activity. If we are talking about the single level activity, means that means the budget which is actually is doing for the particular things, right? So that is the particular particular level of the product. Yeah, we are doing that now. That is that's why that is called the single level. Sorry for some disturbance. There is a door, somebody is opening and closing. So static budget is prepared at the beginning of the period, and we can see there is another budget is called flexible budget. Okay, so flexible budget we prepare at the end of the period. Yes, flexible budget we are prepared at the end of the period, which is formula is represent that actual activity level into budgeted standard cost or sales price. Actual level of the activities into budgeted cost. So it means that the standard sales price, which is standard by the estimated by the at the beginning by the manager or head department of the business organizations at the beginning of the period. That's amount. That's actually amounts is budgeted cost is going to be applied at the actual level of the activities at the end of the period. So that is called the flexible budget. So it is prepared at the end of the period, and now we are going to be study about the actual result. What is the actual result means? Actually, if we talk about the actual result means, actual result is representing that the actual level of the activity into actual cost or actual sales price. So it is we are getting at the end of the period, same as on a flexible budget. So we can see that in the flexible budget there is a difference, and the static budget difference is that it in the static budget there is an activities level based budgeted activities level which is budgeted at the beginning of the period and budgeted cost and the sales price. But in the actual flexible budget, we see that the activities level is only changed. In the budget statics budget, there is a budgeted activities level you are using, but at the flexible budgeting they are using actual activity level, actually how much they have incurred, how much they have got the result. So but there is no difference between the budgeted cost or the cost which is applied on the physical budgeting and the standard budgeting. So to do the both, but for the actual activities level, it's a completely different than the standard static budget. Yes, but it is similar little bit with the flexible budget, because it's the activities levels are the same, because in the flexible budget is also actual activities levels are same, but but the cost are different, because in the flexible budget we are taking the standard cost, but sorry, but in the actual activity level we are not taking the cost from the standard statics budget. We are taking the actual cost, how much they have incurred there. Okay, we are getting this data at the end of the period. So here's an types of the cost. So standard cost. So standard cost means it's something like a budgeted cost. You can be say estimated cost. These costs are there. So standard cost means like a standard estimated is a estimated cost. Yes, it's completely like it's are the estimated cost unit under the predefined working conditions. So it is the estimated cost. It's something like an estimated cost. Yeah, there are two types of the estimated cost: ideal standard cost, and which is theoretically we are studying, and the practical standard cost, and currently attainable standard cost. It means the what did you have fixed, and so we will be basically study about this one is a down one. What is the standard cost? For example, we have the standard cost per unit, and a standard sales price is per unit is available. So through the example, if we will be study, then the standard cost per unit material. Okay, first of all we have that. Thereafter standard standard cost per unit and the price is a 50. Okay, so first of all we have to understand that the 50 kg into 10 per kg, that means to complete the one product, one unit, because here is the standard cost per unit on the top, right? So material cost per unit into material cost per unit, calculate 5 kg into 10. It means the 5 kg materials is need into 10. It means that 1 kg materials are $10. So $10 into 5 is 50, right? Yeah, we got that. Labor cost. So labor cost means that the per unit is the given here. So 3 hours, one per unit is taking 3 hours, and the labor charge is 1 hour is $15. So $50 they are charging for 1 unit. So if we multiply the 3 into 15, then we will get the 45. That is our labor cost for 1 unit. To 1 unit, how much we are paying? $45. And now is the variable overhead cost. So what is the variable overhead cost? Means 3 hours into 6 per unit. So what is the 3 hours variable overhead cost into 3 hours? It means that the variable overhead cost, like the indirect cost, electricity, factory, in this cost. So those are the indirect cost is there, overhead cost is there. So 3 into, that means the 3 hours is need into, and the 6 we are paying for that per unit product. So 3 hours is taken, that the variable overheads, and the 6 per hours charge. So that is the total variable overhead cost is coming 18. Okay, and after is we can see that the fixed overhead, how much the fixed overhead is incurred. Okay, so how much the fixed overhead is coming there? So fixed overhead, if we talk about the fixed overhead, is the just we have supposed here. So 10,000 is the fixed overhead and 1,000 is the unit products. So it is a $10. It is a $10 usually is coming, but actually fixed overhead is cost is a fixed. It's always it's depend only the price will be this price could be the decrease per unit. It's depend on your productivity level in the short period. Okay. So total cost is how much? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Here the questions is asking about what the questions is asking. Questions is asking to us that budgeted sales price per unit is 200. That means he is just saying about that budgeted sales price, budgeted cost, which when we have see there is a static budget. In the static budget we see there is a budgeted activities level into budgeted cost or sales price per unit, budgeted sales price per unit. Okay, so that is the same price, same things is here. Budgeted sales price per unit is $200, and budgeted unit is a 10,000. Okay, yeah, definitely we will get also the same result. If the fixed cost we see there, if you have just keep the $10, it is okay. Otherwise we had already the 10,000 fixed overhead cost, so we will be divide by the 1,000, so it will be get that. Okay, so you understood that what is the budgeted sales price. So budgeted sales price per unit is $200, and budgeted unit is a 1,000. Okay, so it's a budgeted. Okay, it's an activities level, which I said you that the activities level into a static budget, activities level, budgeted activities level into budgeted sales price. So it's both that you can be get it from here. Yeah, now we need an actual. So to get the actual, first of all we have to be, so company actual, so activities level we have, but we need a actual sales price. Okay, so to get the actual sales price, what the formula we apply to get the actual result? To get the actual result, first of all we have to be compared, okay, with the flexible budget. So first of all, because if you are considering the variance, so here is asking about the company sold actually at this much units. So we can be so for in the example we have here, so to compare, to understand about all the flexible budget, what is it? So first of all we go for the sales. So sales means like as a 1,000 unit and 200, so total sales will be your expected value 2,000 is static budget. Okay, in the static budget 1,000 units. Material, how we can calculate the material? You can see here the material is a 1,000 unit. Okay, you need a 1,000 unit, but you need for 1 unit 5 kg materials, and there the price is $10 per unit. You can see here 5 kg per unit materials into rate is a per kg $10. So if we multiply with that 50 into 1000, we will get the 50,000. That would be the less, because it is a material, it is a cost. So 50,000 is here. Now you can see the labor hours. So labor hour was also same. You can see here the labor was a labor cost 3 hours per unit into 15 per hours. We are paying to the labor. So labor cost into 1,000 in unit into 3 hours into 15, and if you multiply, then we will get that how much? 48,000, right? Because 45,000, because 15 3 is 45, and we multiply with that 45 into the what is called our activities level, and estimated activities level is budgeted activities level. Budgeted activities level 1,000. So total labor cost into one activity level into hours, whatever the hour is, into 3,000 and into 15. So per unit would be the 15,000 unit. Now we have a variable overhead cost. So what would be the variable overhead cost? Variable overhead cost is also same like that way. If we define about the variable overhead cost, 1,000 into 3 into 6, because it is also same like that. So we will be calculate at the last, we will get the total cost is at the, and then all the cost will be deducted from the sales price, and then we will get the profit. So simply is defining about the static budget. This much profit you will get at the beginning of the period, we could be know. So here we can now see that the static 77,000 is a profit, right? Yeah. So now we can be see here is now in the actual. In the actual, if we talk before the actual, I wanted to talk about the flexible budget. Okay. So flexible budget is a same and that way. The flexible budget formula was a actual activity level into budgeted standard cost. Okay, budgeted, what was the budgeted cost, standard cost, no? So that cost will be used. Okay, so for that, so here we can see that the budgeted standard cost is $200 for the sales, right? Yeah, for the sales was a $200, and the actual activities level was a 900, because in the questions there is already told that. See, 200 is the budgeted sales price, and the budgeted unit is a 10,000 1000. Okay, and the company actual sold is a 900 only, so 900 actual into sales, budgeted sales price, and the 900 into a standard, because for the to get the standard price we have a standard. So same as the statics we did, same we are also going to do it here. So 9,000 in the 900 into 5 for the 5 kg for the 1 unit into $10. So it is for the material. Okay, for the material is the same. So that's the same way we can be calculate. So at the last, yeah, but remember here, so for the labor also we can be calculate, for overhead is also we can be calculate same. But for the fixed cost is a 10,000. Remember one thing is that the fixed cost is never change. Okay, so fixed cost means it's a never change. The fixed cost is here, you can see that the 10,000. So 10,000 you can never change on the activities level. Okay, so in the flexible budget, never change that. As per the statics, we have to fix it here. Fixed cost is always the same. So 10,000 you have to just write here, and when you did it, then you'll get your actual profit. So it is a flexible profit, not an actual. Okay, we're going to be study here. See, there is a actual. Okay, so we have not fixed it. Just for the example, we just consider that here is an actual sales price would be the, because if you divide, then you will get that value. Okay, so you can be assume, but in your exam there would be it's a given that how much actually your cost is, how much actual per unit cost. So we just divide at the same way we did the multiply with the 900 into the actual sales unit, because we cannot take this example, this price, because it is a statics price. So for the actual, how much its cost is depend, how much is, it's all depend on the company procedure. So we can be see that it's here. Okay, so just for the understanding purpose, I mean, to what the next step would be. Next step is saying that statics. Yeah, statics. So static variance is so statics. How do you understand about the static variance? How it could be calculated? So static variance means there's the difference between a static budget and the actual budget. So here you can see that this is a static budget and this is the actual budget. Okay, this is the actual result. Okay, so difference between this statics budget and the actual result, that is called the static variance. Okay, so it means that the comparison between the budgeted statics budget and the actual budget. So a static budget and the actual budget result is a comparison. So that is called the static variance. So the difference between a static budget and actual result. Here just saying that the flexible variance means difference between the flexible budget and actual result. So flexible budget and actual results is defining is that the static budget and actual how much you are going to be spent. So flexible is here profit. Yeah, so to calculate the flexible budget, it means that the flexible budget into, it's a difference. It's showing that the difference between the actual flexible budget into and flexible budget and the actual budget. So showing that the difference between flexible budget and the actual budget. Showing, so you can see there's a flexible budget and the actual budget. So this is the difference, is showing that the flexible variance. So here's on the down we have another, is saying that the another statement on the revenue side. On the revenue side, yeah, on the revenue side, it's saying that the under favorable variance. So it's saying that the occur when actual revenue exceed budgeted revenue. Yeah, actual revenue exceeds the budgeted revenue is how much, whatever the if the when the favorable variance is occurred, it means the occur when actual revenue exceed budgeted. It means the actual how much is you have, it is greater than the budgeted one, so that is the favorable. On unfavorable condition is defining that the when actual revenue is less than the budgeted one, so that is called the unfavorable variance. Yes, okay, you should understand that what is the revenue side. If you are talking about the revenue side, that is the when it is favorable, then you can be considered that the it is a favorable when the actual revenue is greater than the budgeted one, and it is unfavorable when the actual revenue is less than the budgeted revenue. So this is the one. And on the cost side, favorable variance means occur when actual costs are less than budgeted cost. So it is saying that the favorable variance is favorable variance means actual cost. So in the cost side, we can be say that actual cost is less than the budgeted cost. Yeah. So actual cost is less than the budgeted cost. Actual cost is less than the budgeted cost is saying that it's a favorable variance. Unfavorable variance is defining that the actual cost is exceeds the budgeted cost. So it's a same like as an opposite. Okay, in the revenue and in the cost is a same like as an opposite. Then we have here to say about the effects of variance over the income. Yeah, what's the effects of the variance on the income? So favorable variance increase the profit, okay, but unfavorable variance is that decrease the profit. Yes, definitely it will be the increase. So here is another things that we are saying about the purpose. Okay, what is the purpose of the variance? What would be the purpose? Yeah, definitely the purpose. Variance is why you are doing the variance. Yeah, it means the questions like why we are preparing the variance. So is the useful to use the knowledge about the variance to getting the knowledge information through the variance is that to be learn about the promote to learning is to help us to learn something more about the business organizations about the particular product. Okay, to analyze that and the continuous improvement in the manufacturing process. In the manufacturing process, that how much you can be manufacture, which ways you supposed to be use, which process you supposed to be used. That is the purpose of the variance. Okay, that is the purpose of the variance. So standard costs are the, so here is we have already standard cost is we have studied, right? So here is one questions that I will discuss. It's saying that the manufacturing firm planned to manufactures and sells 100,000 units of products during the year at a variable cost per unit $4 and a fixed cost per unit $2. So the firm fell short of its goals and only manufactured 80,000 units at a total incurred cost this much 15,000. So the firm manufacturing cost variance was how much? So to manufacturing, so supposed to understand about the questions. First of all, what is the questions is asking you? So it's saying that a manufacturing firm planning to manufacture and sell 1 lakh, and it means the 100,000 units of the products. Okay, at the variable cost is this much. This is the planning. So planned cost is also some is calling like as a standard cost, starting cost, a budgeted cost. So budgeted unit is this much, variable budgeted cost is this much, and variable fixed cost is this much. So the firms fail to be so at the total variance firm has already got the 80,000 and at this much level, at this much cost. So what would be the answer? Actually it's so firm is asking about you the cost. Okay, what is the cost variance would be? So for to calculate, we have here, you can see this inside in this side. So if I will be talking about the, it is a favorable 500 is saying how is, you can see here because you see the budgeted output is a 1000. Okay, and actually you got this much only. So your actual cost is this much is here, and the variable cost is this much and this much. So here is asking about the manufacturing cost. Okay, manufacturing cost variance. So to understand about the manufacturing cost variance, what would be the manufacturing cost variance is, it's a saying that so manufacturing cost variance, actual cost is this much, flexible variable cost is this much into what you calculate, then you will get the, or the fixed cost will be the same as for the static. So now, so it means that the whatever it was the $2, so per unit $2 into statics budget as per the static budget, so 2 lakhs. So if we will get this 2 and 120 it will come, then if we will divide about the this one, then you will get the 500. You understand about what is it saying? So you will get the 500 is a C is a correct answer is here. C is a favorable. So you supposed to be understand that it is a favorable, okay, because it is a favorable because the actual cost was the manufacturing cost was how much, one it will be, yeah, your actual cost was more and it is a less, so that's why. So I hope you understand, guys. Okay, with the next video I will come on the another sessions. Till that time, bye.